Wow, did a good job mopping. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm gonna do the first look on this brand new Eufy C28 robot vacuum cleaner. Now I did buy this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. It retails for 800 bucks. That's a very expensive price from what the specs I'm seeing. It is on sale right now for $600. That seems a little bit more reasonable. In this video, I'm gonna show you what comes in the box, how to put it together. We're going to connect it to our smartphone. We're going to map our home and we'll do a first cleaning just so you get an idea of how it does. After that, I'm going to take it to my house, live with it for 3 months, and give it my 3-month real world review. Now these spec sheets, you're going to be able to find these soon on my website, justadadapproved.com. Price, suction power 15,000, mop roller, 10 millimeter lift. Side brushes are just basic, dual split brush roller, water tank on board. No video camera, no chassis lift, 10 newtons of downward pressure. Cold water, hot air, no dirt detect, no solution, but tray removal. Now you might think this it does look just like the E25 and E28, which it does, but they have completely redesigned the dirty water tank area. Pretty much the only thing I see the same is the vacuum part. The mop roller is different, the dirty water tank, the base station. So there's a lot of changes here. We're gonna go over all the changes and then we'll actually see how well it cleans. So here's everything that comes in the box. I do like that you get a paper manual. We got to remove these little bumper guards. That way the bumper moves in and out. Here's the base station. You got to find the ramp. You're going to install the ramp. Here's where it's going to auto empty the robot. It fills the robot up with water, empties the dirty water tank, blows hot air on it to dry it. And then this is where the water drains in to wash the mop roller. Now, an interesting note, you may get some collection down here. There is a little float that goes up and down, but there's no way for the base station to suck the water out of this. So you must have to go empty this. I don't think there'll be much water getting in there, but we'll see. Up top, we have a dirty water tank and a clean water tank. And here's the dust bag. So very simple. After a couple months, you're going to have to replace that dust bag. Here's what the clean water tank, 2.2 liters at max, little filter down here at the bottom. Make sure when you close it, you have to snap that. And then here's the dirty water tank with a float. Same thing, when you close it, snap it. They fit on there real nice. Power cord's permanently attached. It's 2-prong, and let's take a look here. When it's dust collection, 650 watts, 100 to 127 volts, 50 or 60 hertz. Here's what the bottom of the base station looks like. If you get a clog in that auto empty part, you can just take that off with some Phillips screws. I like that it's clear also. Closer look, again, this is where it's going to fill the robot up with water. Here's where it sucks the water out of the dirty water tank. Charging points. This is where it's going to blow hot, it does blow hot air onto the mop pad. It doesn't wash it with hot water, it just washes it with room temperature water. And again, it does have tray removal, so I do like tray removal. Some rollers, auto empty port. Base station front to back, 17 inches or 43 centimeters. Left to right, 13.5 inches or 34 centimeters. Height-wise, you don't need a lot of room above it, about 17 inches or 43 centimeters. You just have to lift these a little bit, about another inch to get them off. Okay, the robot is kind of a box. At its widest point, looks like about 15.5 inches or 39 centimeters. To the top of the LiDAR, looks like it's 4.5 inches or 11 centimeters. Let's take a closer look. Obstacle avoidance sensor on the front. It does not have a camera. It does have a spinning LiDAR with a cover. 2 physical buttons, a power button, which is a start, stop, pause, and that's a home button. I like that. Okay, let's take this lid off. This is where the dustbin is. There is a reset button right here. Lift this up. Dustbin looks pretty similar to the E25, but I will do a comparison later. There's the filter. You're going to have to clean that filter every couple weeks. It is reusable, but you got to let it dry. And press that little button. Kind of a small dustbin. And again, it's going to auto empty out the bottom. There's a little flapper right there. Make sure the handle's up and then put that down. Round back. Now, one of these is an alignment pin. The other one is actually where it fills the clean water up with water. Here's where it sucks the water out of the dirty water tank. Charging, backup sensor. Press this button. Here is the dirty water tank. Now, the only access is this little red filter thing. You'll have to replace this and clean this once in a while. You can get in there with a small brush, but you can't lift this cover off. There's no other access to this dirty water tank. At least you can get in there with a brush. It's just a little tricky, but looks like there's where like clean water and the dirty water come out possibly. All right, let's take a look at this area. This is new. This is the scraper. That's like a little tray. That's where a suction port where it sucks the water out of the tray. The brush roller, little tab here you press. It's thinner than like the E25. It's not as wide, so it is thinner. Looks like here is where the water sprays on, the fresh water sprays on the mop roller, then it gets scraped off and sucked up into the dirty water tank. Put this side in and then click it into place. Take this, put this side in first. It rides right up against that to scrape it. Drive wheels, auto empty. This is same as the E25. These split brush dual roll or split brush vacuum roller. The long hairs aren't going to wrap around, but then they'll get sucked up in there. I have noticed this does clog up a little bit. That's a little narrow area for the long hairs, but we'll see how it does. There is a comb in there also. And to get these off, you just pull them off. You can wash them, and you will have to replace them once in a while. But this part doesn't come off, and it is a little flimsy in my opinion. And you got to kind of put it in like that. Side brushes don't extend, but you do get 2 of them. They come installed. Carpet sensor. It does raise the mop roller 10 millimeters whenever it senses carpet. Cliff sensors. Free spinning wheel. And again, here's the door. Let's fill the clean water up with clean water. I use a Shark Vac Mop solution. I call it 2 dabs, about 1/3 of a cup. You can grab an Effordent denture cleaner, put it in the dirty water tank to prevent odors. You can find all the products that I use on my website, justadadapproved.com. Here's the world famous cleaning brush from Walmart for $5. There's a link to it on my website. It's perfect for cleaning everything, the solution, and the Effordent tablets. This prevents odor. These things dirty water tanks will stink. Okay, let's turn the robot on, and we're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Those lights will start breathing right there. And it's going to play a tune. So you do need the Eufy app. You're going to log in. It is free to use. Once you log in with the username and password, go to clean and then hit the plus button. You're going to add a device, C series, C28. I did power it on, so select that, hit next. I have to reset the device. Press and hold the 2 buttons. You're resetting the Wi-Fi. Hit that and hit next. Then hit connect. Find your Wi-Fi. It only works on 2.4 gigahertz. Enter your Wi-Fi password. Now, you may get a warning saying there's a space. I have a space in my Wi-Fi SSID, the name of my Wi-Fi. That's okay. It's trying to say you can't, but I'm not going to go back in my Wi-Fi and change that. So just hit continue. So now the tablet should connect to this, and then the tablet's going to tell it what Wi-Fi to go connect to, and then your tablet should connect back to your normal Wi-Fi. This should all be automatic.
Connection successful.
Eufy robots generally are easy to set up. And we got a little status, ready to go. There may be an update. We're going to do the update. So it's showing up with no name. Let's just select it. Oh yeah, so there is a firmware. I want to show you where the firmware, it's a critical one. So I have to put it on the base station. Got the base station plugged in. There's a really dim light right here.
Charging.
Make sure you hear the word charging. So let's go. We need 3 checks. So let's go in. We should have, yeah, upgrade now. It is on its base station. You may have to swipe and close the app and reopen it. Okay, so I close the app, select it. Yeah, next. There is an important upgrade. I do recommend doing this. It is on its base station. Oh, there's only 17% charge, but it doesn't show charging. Ooh, that's not good. These lights are breathing like it's charging. Oh, now it says charging. I don't know. So now I've got 3 check marks. That should have went pretty smoothly, but sometimes things just delay. So upgrade now. Please wait. System updating. I do turn auto upgrade on. This may take 5-10 minutes. I'll let you. Okay, that took maybe 5 minutes. So hit back. Yeah, these things lag. We've already done the upgrade. Yeah, there we're back. Okay, so we got to create a map. So let's do that first. Normally that pops up. Let's do the voice backup. Language pack updating. Please wait. Doesn't come with much charge, so you may have to let it charge for a while. Normally there's a pop-up. Let's go back out. Okay, I had to close the app when you swipe up and close it, come back. Now I've got some more options. Manage map. Create a map. So if you want multi-floor, turn that on, but let's just hit create map. Make sure your doors are open. Oh, you have to have 30% charge. Okay, we gotta. Okay, so that was like 10 minutes, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't very, maybe 30 minutes, but it's fully charged. That was the quickest charging I've ever seen. We'll have to keep an eye on that. 100% already. Okay, so click that icon, go to map management, hit create map. And it should undock, and you should see the map being created because it has LiDAR navigation. It's the coolest thing in the world. You want to make sure your doors are open, turn the lights on, kind of organize your furniture where it goes. There it is. It's going to create the map in real time. All right, so we'll come back and edit the map when it's all done. Okay, there's the map it created. Edit the map if you want to divide up the rooms. Nope. I don't need to rebuild. I just want to edit the rooms. This is just... So let's divide up the room, select the room, move the arrow, and hit the check. There, divide up the room. Hit back. You can name the room. You can pick the names or type in your own. Map extension, you can put a no-go zone. No-go zone, no mop zone, or virtual wall. Let's do a no-go zone. I know it's going to struggle over here a little bit. Hit save. Carpet editing, we'll save that for later. You can add furniture and you can change the floor material. So let's change this to wood. But you can't change the direction of the wood. Wood, tile, marble, or terrazzo. Hit save. All right, you can merge up different rooms. No multiple floors yet. Okay, so let's go through settings. Base station settings. Auto dry. Standard. You can pick quick dry or 5 hours. Ooh, I'll do quick dry. Auto empty. Frequency, you can change it from every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 45 minutes. If you have pets and a bunch of dirt, I'd probably pick every 15 minutes. It's just going to go back and auto empty. Oops. There, that's those. Clean history. You can start and stop the wash, the drying, and the auto empty right from here. Manage the map. We already did that. Cleaning preferences. Boost IQ will automatically increase suction power when it's on a carpet. So you can leave that on, but if it starts to annoy you because it gets kind of loud, you can turn that off. Carpet cleaning mode. Vacuum or only or carpet. So do you want it to lift the mop roller and vacuum the carpet, or do you want it to avoid the carpet at all costs? Which if you have really high carpet, you may have to do that. Auto return cleaning. When low battery, that's auto restart. So you're going to want to make sure you turn do not disturb on, or it could start cleaning again in the middle of the night. Eufy lab, water level. I like this one. I turn it on. Make sure it's full, which it is right now. More settings. Do not disturb is on. That's good. Leave that on. You can change the times. Child lock, square feet, manual controls, firmware update. Again, we turn that to auto. 3D resource update. I don't know what that is. Accessories. This is where it's going to tell you when it's time to change. Swivel wheel, maintenance, filter. I like that filter's on a 30-hour reminder now. They all should be starting to do that. And it tells you exactly how to do it. This is good. You would reset it too. There's nothing for the, these are, okay, so you got two. You got maintain and replace. Dust bag, replace as needed. So there's no timer, about every 2 months on it. Voice settings, off-peak charging is off. Activity log, that's where it sends stuff up to Eufy. Find my robot and remove the device. Okay. Okay, let's change the name. This is the C28. Okay, oh yeah, you can do the map. I wish it was just kind of square, but yeah, you can pinch and zoom. They love to show the 3D stuff. Okay, so it's going to do the whole home when you're in this. Click this. There is AI auto, where it figures out how much water and how much cleaning pattern to use and all of that. I don't think. So yeah, when you select something different, it takes off the AI. So otherwise, it's just in custom where you're going to do vacuum and mop or vacuum only. Two different types of cleaning patterns. When you're in vacuum and mop, you got 3 water levels and 3 suction levels. You can do room. When you select the order of the room, it'll clean those rooms accordingly. You can pick how it cleans each room customly. Common, add a common cleaning task and a zone. And click here, and you can do the number of cleaning times, up to 2 times. And you can save that as a common cleaning, and you can add another zone. And you can select how it cleans both the zones and hit start. So we'll go back to home, and we'll do the room test. Okay, so we're going to do our room clean. I want vacuum and mop, intensity, deep. Let's go to high water level, and I can always turn that down as we go. We'll go to turbo and 2 passes. And then hit start. So it's going to wash the mop roller probably. Yeah. I can hear a water pump kicking on, and we'll hear the mop roller turning once in a while. There's kind of a pause right now. There's the mop roller turning. So there's the dirty water pump. It's a little noisy, sucking the water out of the robot. Okay. That didn't take very long, maybe less than 2 minutes. Okay, it's going to travel to that room with the mop roller. Okay, we're going to see how the Eufy C28 vacuum and mops this room. I've got the water turned up to high. Now it does not have a side brush that it extends. Not too bad of a job. I'll show a close-up. It's not going to go under that furniture because it is almost 4.5 inches tall. That piece of furniture is 4 inches tall. Now in the app, we can see right where it's cleaning. So the first thing it does is the perimeter of the room, now it's going to go back and forth in the nice straight lines. All right. We can see the coverage with this. Now it doesn't do hot water mopping or anything. It's doing a pretty good job with the muddy. Wow, did a good job mopping. Okay, it's on its second pass. I think it increases the brush speed when it's in doing the perimeter of the room. I'm not sure. For some reason, the side brushes just seem like they sped up. So the first pass, it didn't get everything, but it didn't, it left quite a bit in the corner, but we're gonna see if it gets it on the second pass. The mud's almost all gone. There's just a little bit left. Interesting. Even though the mud appears to be gone, I can still see it with this. That's very, very interesting. Yeah, it's not able to get the corner, but it is able to get up against the walls pretty good. So yeah, then it lowers the brush speed, the side brush speed, whenever it's due in the middle of the room. Now we're getting the crisscross pattern. That might be leftover oil or something. I've been doing some oil testing too, but I thought it was perfectly clean. It is laying down quite a bit of water. I don't see any drips from turning or anything. That might just be leftover stuff. Not too bad, actually. So, I don't know what I was seeing in that infrared. Maybe some oil or something. It's all done. It's going to go back and wash the mop. Yeah, that floor is pretty clean. No dripping. This is where the E25 had a problem going back to the base station. It would drip. That has completely been redesigned. The dirty water tank, the mop roller, everything about the mop has been completely redesigned. I don't know if it's for the better or not, but it is completely different. The vacuum part looks exactly the same. We should get an auto empty.
Start collecting dust.
It's emptying the dirty water tank first. Sounds like it's spinning the brush roller. It may be spinning them backwards. I don't know. It's definitely doing, there is a comb, so maybe it's trying to get the hairs off of it. But it's definitely doing something with the brush roller for vacuuming. This is pretty common with Eufy. They tend to do stuff with their brush rollers when it's auto empty. The robot kind of like backed up more, like it tried to back up more. That's interesting. Now it's adding water. The washing of the mop roller is on board. It doesn't wash, the base station doesn't wash the mop roller. Like it doesn't put water there, spin it in the water. It just uses the robot to wash the mop roller. Yeah, that glove is pretty dirty. In the app, we get a little icon that lets us know that it's washing. In the cleaning task, there's where it cleaned. 53 square feet, 6 minutes. We're going on over 2 minutes now. Kind of a water pump sound, brush roller spinning. It's not super loud, but you can definitely hear it. I mean,
Start drying mops.
now it does blow hot air onto the mop roller, but it doesn't heat the water to wash the mop roller. Not super loud, but you're definitely going to hear it. Dirty water. Let's go empty it. I might start measuring it. Pretty dirty, you know, maybe a half a cup. Half a cup to clean that area. All right, let's take a look. Now again, that.
Robot charging pin disconnected. Please
So no real water went into the here. Let's check. This is all the same as the. It did auto empty everything. So.
Task finished.
Oh, let's.
Water tank removed.
I did kind of tip it over first. Sorry about that. I want to see. Yeah, I think it's a pretty. Still a little bit of water in there, not too bad.
The squeegee sewage tank is not in place. Please check.
Mop roller, not too bad. Not too bad, actually. There's not a lot of, this isn't too dirty. A little bit of hair wrap. This design is okay. This is a mid-range robot. This is not a flagship robot. Okay, let's do the carpet test with the Eufy C28 robot vacuum cleaner. We've got a really big mess here, some kitty litter, confetti, ground coffee, and a bunch of long hairs. We're gonna see how well it cleans up this big hair mess. I do have it on its maximum suction. It's doing a vacuum only event. It's gonna do the perimeter of this zone, and then it's gonna go back and forth in the nice straight lines. Looks like it might have mistaken that for an obstacle, the ground coffee. It is leaving quite a bit on the first pass. I do have it, it's going to do 2 passes. It is navigating in nice straight lines. Looks like a good coverage pattern. That's actually pretty disappointing. Now I know it says 15,000 pascals of suction, so I'm just kind of used to the Dream robots and Mova and Roborock having like 28, 25 or something, so suction power may make a difference. I think the second pass is going to get quite a bit more of it, but that was kind of disappointing. And I actually was feeling bad that I didn't put down as much as I normally do. I kind of was being pretty lenient on the amount of stuff I was putting on the floor. And I thought, well, this thing's going to shine because I didn't really put a whole bunch of stuff down, but there's the cleaning pattern. I'm not sure why it recognized that as a... And so now it's going back and forth in the nice straight lines. And again, it's on its maximum suction. Yeah, it still thinks that obstacle's there. So dynamic obstacle avoidance, not so much. Like there's really, it even cleaned it a little bit. There's no obstacle there. Yeah, it's still leaving quite a bit. That's pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. This is probably not going to be recommended for carpet. This might be pretty good for mopping and vacuuming hardwood floors, but carpet's a different story, I think. Yeah, we got quite a bit of the coffee still on the floor. It actually did pretty good with the kitty litter, but the coffee was just sprinkled on the floor. There's quite a few long hairs on the floor still. So we'll check its auto empty, make sure it auto empties everything.
Start collecting dust.
It empties the dirty water tank, even though it didn't mop. That's interesting. And now it's spinning those brush rollers. I'm not sure if it's reversing them or just spinning them in the same direction, but the vacuum brush rollers, you can hear they're being spun. And there is a comb in there. But interestingly enough, after it spins them, it doesn't do another auto empty. Okay, let's verify.
Dustbin removed.
So it did auto empty everything. That's good. Yes. I did have some hair wrap on here, but then it disappeared, so it went away. No hair wrap. There's that comb. Not too bad for hair wrap, yeah. Again, not a super torture test for hair, but just suction power alone is not the best. This floats up and down. It doesn't move it up and down. So the obstacle avoidance test did not go well at all. Wow. It actually, that came off very poor obstacle avoidance. Yeah, I'll have to do the ad versus reality, but that sensor is not very good. So again, be sure and check out my website, justadadapproved.com. I got such exciting news coming on that website. It's going to be completely revamped with all the information that's going to make it super easy for you to find the robot. It's going to have robot vacuum cleaners on sale, live pricing, what the current price is on Amazon, deal alerts. I'm working with a web company now. They're going to hopefully develop something where it can look at Amazon, and when these prices go on sale, we can get deal alerts. So be sure and sign up for my email list on my current. I have a website now. It's very simple. It has my top robots with links. If you purchase the product in this video, in the description of this video, or on my website, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you click on it, the product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Again, I can't wait for this website. Justadadapproved.com, scorecards, written reviews, comparison tables, little things that you're just, I'm doing this all for everybody to make. I've super concentrated on robot vacuum cleaners right now. I want to make it the go-to place for robot vacuum cleaners. I've also reviewed other products. They are super simple compared to these. So again, this Eufy C28, that obstacle avoidance was awful. It seems like it's going to be a pretty decent, for hardwood floors. It actually does seem pretty decent, like a decent mop. Very basic operating system. This is definitely don't pay more than $600 for this. This is a sub $500 robot with that type of obstacle avoidance. I mean, the Mova P10 Pro right there does an amazing job at obstacle avoidance and does a great job of mopping and vacuuming. So again, that's kind of the gold standard. Like for $400, like it's on sale right now for $420. The Mova P10 Pro is still the #1 pick. Now, the Gen 2, I'm getting ready, the Mova P10 Pro Gen 2, I'm getting ready to do the final score on it. And it's going to be, it might be better than the P10 Pro. So again, I'll have all that information on the website when these eventually get released and the written reviews all get said. So I will continue to purchase these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money. I'm not paid for these videos. I can say whatever I want about them. This is home of the honest review. I don't want you wasting your hard-earned money on a bad robot. There's plenty of bad robots out there, but there's also actually some good robots that actually can give you some time back in your life. That's the main reason for these robot vacuum cleaners. I got lots more videos coming up. So again, thanks everybody. JustADadApproved.com. I'd hold off on the C28 right now, unless it's under $400 maybe. But again, thanks everybody. JustADadApproved.com. Okay, let's see how the secret robot vacuum cleaner testing's going. There's the Eufy X10. We're adding a few more. Here's the retirement community. They're not active right now. I had a problem with the Roomba again, leaking water, and it's already had the mod. The Eufy S1's been having a problem also. Oh, we got a little squall going on over here. Battle of the mop rollers. I brought the E25 down, E28 are going at it. There's the S1. He's got a red error message on the dock, but he's working. A few more newcomers, E25, the Mova. This little guy's just going to town. Q7 M5. Here's all the Roomba models. These are the antique Roombas that are no longer... These are way too old and way too much frustration. Oh yeah, I brought this one down. The L40 SCE and the P10. And we've got quite the battle going on down here. Eufy C20, its mop pads are already dry. It doesn't have an internal water tank, so it can't keep them wet. These guys are laying down some pretty good water. E25's not, but the E28 is.